Howdy and welcome to a new skin review. This one is of Cute Chap Astolfo by Untitled Chapter. I don't know how to say that last part. Anyway, he posted this over on the OS skin Reddit, and it's also on the OS forums. Anyway, this skin has a lot of good family-friendly content, if you know what I mean, boys. Anyway, let's begin. Alright, so the ranking criteria is actually based off the same as last week. So for those of you that are new here or didn't watch it last week, they are based objectively on three things. The first of which is, does it fit with a central theme? This is a pattern, a color, or a character. The second one is the gameplay clear and distraction free? Now this includes the hit circles, the health bar, and the key overlay. Now the last one is just a point to criticize, and is if it has customization. Now this won't take off points necessarily, but I will add some kudos as well, throw in a supporter if the person has added customization to the skin. Starting off with the skin folder. Now it appears that there is nothing to actually customize the skin with, which is fine with me, although there's nothing I would really change other than the cursor. I really don't like the cursor, to be honest, and that's what I would change if I were to use the skin. Anyway, onto the menu, or at least a picture of the menu, as I'm a broke ass motherfucker and I can't exactly pay for supporter, you feel me? Anyway, here's the main menu background. It's actually a really nice wallpaper, and it's like a pastel version of the character. I honestly have no idea what this art type is called, but I actually really like stuff like this. Like, I used to have a wallpaper of Shinichi and Migi from Parasite of this same design, and it's pretty cool. Also, the menu background and noises and the click noises are okay, but they're nothing special, nothing too loud or annoying. Now on to song selection. As you can see, the entire screen is actually a really nice mix of this blue, this pink, this white, and this red tint. And it's actually the character's main color throughout his outfit and his hair and whatnot. There's also a chibi version of the character at the player card, and the selection and the stars are all themed really nicely, with the character's face not too big, and they also fit within the theme. So I gotta say, it does look very nice and inviting and warm. Makes me feel good. The options, shuffle, mod, and mode select are all themed correctly, and the mode select especially. I mean, I must say, boys, that when I was recording the Skins of August video, that there's about a 30-second gap in the recording where I pulled out my phone and I subsequently snapped a pic and saved it for a good old horse beating later, if you know what I mean, boys. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, everything looks good for me. I'm a ass guy. I mean, asses are the best. Like, there is no tits. Tits, fuck out of here. Anyway, I gotta show some love to the mode select, because wait, it's a trap. Nah, nigga, it's not gay if the balls aren't touching. Anyway, now for the ranking screen. I'll show you plays in order to show what they look like, starting from SS to, you know, a D. Anyway, everything is okay. The fonts are nice. They look very similar to Minimal Weeb and actually give me that kind of vibe. The character in the middle is okay. Personally, I'm not a fan of that, but the ranking letters, as they are, I really like. Art is cool, and it's really not done enough, in my opinion, for ranking letters. Now, my one complaint is the top of the ranking letters. The actual ranking top of it, where it says the panel and then the score, is a light gray or a light white color. And then the text is a white color with a thin G-string stroke. Like, bruh, what you thinking? How much sand you been eating? Oh, it just fucking ruins it. Seriously, it's fucking hard to read. I mean, I can make it out, but everything else just fits. Why couldn't you fucking do it? Okay. So the last thing before we actually get into gameplay is the section fail and the section pass, the pause and the fail screens as well. I really like the character art here, and normally I'm not a fan of the super weeb skins, but pink is actually one of my favorite colors, and I can't help but be attached to a sexy pink color along with some really good character art. Kudos, Aniba, everything is good so far, or Inaba, would it be? Alright, and now for the gameplay. Now before I give my impressions, I will show about 20 seconds of raw gameplay, so you can get a feel for this skin before I actually start getting into it, boys. Right, so the circles. They're okay. They're bland, they're boring, they're uninspiring. You can tell they spent the least amount of work here. The sliders are really weird and ugly, and it makes the skin feel older than it actually is. The cursor also does not fit with the hit circles, and it just feels like they spent the least amount of time working on the most important part of the skin. I mean, come on, what are you doing? Anyway, the key overlay is also too big, and it's something I'm personally not a fan of. Also, the HP bar is nice and minimal and fits with the theme, and overall it's the best thing about the gameplay. The combo letters also are not big, they're pretty small, and I prefer that because I play on a bigger resolution than 1080p most of the time. The ACK is also in the middle of the screen, which I really like as well, and everything fits perfect. Overall, a very impressive skin, but I'm more concerned about how bad the gameplay is here, as I'm more of a gameplay person, so I think that with all these elements on a skin such as Mirai 2.0 with the pink style, or maybe Yugen with the pink tint, would be a match made in heaven. And I also think that the hit circles just ruin the skin for me. I feel like the rest of the skin is really nice, and then you get to the gameplay, which is probably, or is the most important part of the skin, and it's just nothing. It's just blue ball straight up. I mean, come on, put some more thought and time into these hit circles. They really, to me, are just, I don't like them. I don't see the appeal in these hit circles. I don't see how this was voted top skin. I see why it was voted top skin, but from a gameplay standpoint, I just can't stand behind it. It's just ugly. However, I'm impressed with the HP bar and the overall fonts and stuff of the skin. It's very nice, and honestly, people that don't spend a lot of time on their fonts really annoy me. They just use generic fonts that everyone else uses. I really appreciate that he took the time to use a unique font, and he skinned all the different letters and stuff, and it looks really nice. I took half a point off for the key overlay because it's too big and distracting, but I mean, that's just about it.